Happy Tuesday, Shredder Nation. Welcome to episode number 13 of Shred Your Body. I'm your host, Jesse James Jamnik, and tonight I'm super excited for this call. This is lucky number 13 in my world, and I couldn't think of a better person than somebody who is just. Oh man, Lenny, I don't even know how to describe you. Boy, you've come into my life about 5 months ago, a little over 5 months ago now, and from the day that you've come in, you've just surrounded me with confidence, and I feel you have a heart of gold, and you just feel your service and your soul. Your accolades in business are one thing, but as a human being, you are a special person. And I just wanted to start off by sharing that with you. You've touched my life. You have helped me. And I'm just thankful for you. This whole community is thankful for you. And I'm thankful that you're here with us tonight, man. So welcome. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, brother. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm really happy. Do I sound good?
You sound
good?
great.
Okay,
You
cool.
sound great. You look
Right on.
great in the new ER shred gear.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Sean Escobar and Crystal right now because I just opened the box and got this out and I was like freaking out. It's my new favorite hat. I love this hat. It is
I know,
so
right?
rad. And the shirt.
Hey, look, I can show mine because my head resembles yours.
Hey, come on. There's
So
nothing
I
wrong
can,
with that, baby.
I feel confident. I feel warm and fuzzy being around another white bald man.
I love it. I love it.
Well, Lenny, listen, you know that my purpose of this call is to share the amazing stories of um just the epic people that we've had come into the ER Shed community, the literally thousands of lives that we've transformed. It's so hard for me to, pick and choose because there's so many stories. But I also want to make sure that we're mixing in some good education because, as you know, the ER shred is not just a quick fix type of thing, right? We talk about it having depth. We talk about it healing people from the inside out, the physical, but more importantly, the mental. If we can put those two together, we can create lasting life change. And as you guys keep coming in, drop in, say hello to us. Lenny will go back and look. I'll go back and look. We see you guys, but we got a lot that I want to pull out of Lenny tonight because he's a master at helping people with past trauma. And that's a big piece, I feel, from a health coaching perspective. I know I have much work to do on this, but he's just a masterful life coach, I think, and really help. He's a breath coach. He's a yoga instructor, and Lenny. What you share? What is it? Tell people what's Lenny Evens. What are you really fine-tuned at doing? You said it the other day in a Facebook Live that made me reach out to you.
Well, I think what I love. Here's what I want to say. Then I live to help people come alive and help them step into their next level of greatness and in any of those areas. For sure that. And also part of that sometimes is healing the past and healing trauma that's blocked in our bodies and it gets stored there. So Isagenix has been the greatest blessing for me because it's allowed me to pursue all the things I'm the most passionate about for the last 17 years, bro. Amazing.
Yeah. I could literally list a laundry list of all the things you've accomplished, but the focus is I know for you, just getting to know you in the short time, you're not even about that. And all of those to me is just proof of how epic of a human you are, because in order to get those, you have helped hundreds of thousands of people over the years. You have helped hundreds of thousands of people over the years. And I learned somewhere, I forgot, remind me who said it, but was it Dale Carnegie or somebody or John Maxwell, right? If you can truly bless enough people's lives, other people's lives, and help enough people get what they want in life, a good-hearted person is naturally going to get back anyways. And for you getting all of that stuff is just proof for me, of just the awesomeness that you are. So let's dive into this, Lenny. When people think of trauma, because I know from a health coaching perspective, and I know from things that have held me back a lot in life, past trauma is a big deal. And when we hear the word trauma, most people think of like these big things, right? Like, is trauma just a big thing? Is it just a car accident? Is it just a sudden death? Is it just a breakup? Like, what's trauma? What can really affect people that you've learned?
Well, gosh, I love that we get to talk about this. We never really take time to talk
I
about
know.
this, and I love it because it happens to everyone, because
Mm,
it's not just the big stuff like car accidents and deaths and births and big stuff. It's when we're small, Jesse, when we're tiny, when we're growing up, there
hmm.
comes a point where we're very vulnerable to other adults. We have to be submissive. They're way bigger than us. We're small,
Yeah.
tiny. And so anything like somebody just yelling at us or a teacher embarrassing us one time, that stuff is like, huh, and it just lodges in your body. And that's why I loved learning yoga and learning all about meditation and breath and learning about the chakras on the body and the meridians, because it's like, whoa, like I came to a point, it took me a long time, but to come to a point where like, whoa, things are totally connected. And there is a way to help relieve, to release trapped trauma. So trauma gets inside of us when we're really tiny. And part of living our life is learning how to go back and deal with it and bring it out and get it out. And that
Mm,
is part of what's happening right now. So that's the beginning of trauma, and it can be something so small, and it's different for everyone. So don't judge my trauma. I won't judge your trauma. Like, everyone's trauma is very different, and that's why people are so afraid. The number one fear in the world is the fear of public speaking, because it would be ridicule. You would be embarrassed in front of your peers. So public speaking in a big group is like, that's a very nerve-wracking thing, because it's going to make us look bad. So
yeah.
that could have a really big effect. That could even put trauma into people. That's why they just won't do it. But we
Mm,
can help people with that. So trauma is a real thing. It can be in our body for so many different ways. And one of the things tonight I want to explore that we talked about is, some really easy ways to help people move it through. Now, there is a time and a place to go deeper for people, and
mm,
that could require like a professional call with some of my coaches, and mentors that are certified and all those types of things. I'm certified in different types of things. The whole bottom line here is that this is empowering. And Jesse, you're one of my new mentors. You, Sean, and Crystal, Bob Seavright, the whole gang that's running this, that's helping run the shred culture. Kimber King, Tony and Randy Escobar.
yeah.
Oh, I just am so excited to be here right now. But part of this is the whole package. We're helping people change their life, and to change your life and to become the next level, you got to let that old level go. You got to let go and shed, almost like a snake. You shed a skin to become that new version of you. So if our thing here, if one of our themes in the shred culture that Sean and Crystal are, that birthed is to really come alive and become the best version. Sometimes there's going to be stuff that is keeping us back, that we keep coming back to a lot of times. And that's the very stuff. Joseph Campbell, one of my mentors, he said that the cave we fear the most is the cave we must enter. If we're afraid of
Mm.
something, that's what we should be looking at, because that's our next level for growth. That's what's up.
Yeah, say that again, because I want people that just hit me like you just kind of like reached through my computer and smacked me. And I've learned to pick up on these things 'cause I've tried to do so much training on this. Tell people again what you just said because that's so important.
Well, my whole life, I've been running away from things that I was afraid of.
Yeah.
And the more you run, the more it hunts you down. And there's
Mm,
no running away from it, because the answers are all inside of us.
yeah.
So Joseph Campbell says, the cave you fear the most to go inside, that one that you fear the most, that is the very cave, the very, very cave that we need to go in and
Mm,
explore. And And so and so the thing I'm loving so much about the shred is it's throwing us all on an awakening path. It's like,
Yeah.
it really is. And it's helping us have the body we've always wanted. It's helping us, and what I wanted to say before I thanked everyone was you specifically helped coin that this is an empowerment movement. That's what this is, right? So it's empowerment over food, miracle number one. Empowerment over drink, miracle number two. Empowerment over snacks, miracle number three. Like it's a bunch of miracles happening, right? And as we move in to see where we're going to play in this arena, and I'm working on a video right now that talks about why gratitude plays such a role. I'll probably touch on this a little later, but because when you're truly, truly grateful, what do? You share. So you're almost forced. It's like the inevitability moment where you're going to have to decide once you've shredded and you look in the mirror and go, damn, like you're looking hot, and there's an inevitability moment where people are going to ask you, what are you doing? And you have got to make the decision. Like, you know what? I'd rather not talk about it. Never talk to me about never talk to me again about how hot I am. Okay. Just don't. Like, that's not going to happen. And so you're going to have to figure out a way to start building this beautiful network of serving people. Because it was Zig Ziglar that said, if you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want by default. And I learned that from Jimmy Smith and Tony Escobar, watching them serve people, watching Sean serve people, watching you serve people. So we're here to empower people. And part of my life's work is I host bliss retreats. They're very spiritual in nature. But one of the things we do is we do deal with some of these other elements where we want to help people, also empower them to learn how to earth, learn how to ground, how to suck up some of the power of Mother Nature, how to meditate, how to learn how to visualize. So that's my life's work. And part of that is making friends with little Jesse, making friends with little Lenny, making friends with little, whoever you are, you have a little part of you. And in the meditations I get into, we get to a place where we get to go back and make friends with and heal any traumas that happened in a beautiful way with those younger kids. And then we kind of connect with our 80-year-old version, and we have a little meeting. And it's pretty awesome, right? Because this is the juicy stuff for me. Yes, visualization. Yes, meditation. Yes, all of those things, because it has to happen in your mind before it can happen anywhere else. And we can talk a little bit about that. But what I wanted to make sure and focus on tonight was maybe one or two very empowering ways that I want to empower everybody watching that took the time to watch us tonight. I want to give a gift about just a couple different ways that you didn't know you could release trauma, and you maybe have been, and maybe you could even now do it, practice a little more on some of this stuff, because stuff's going to come up when the inevitability, let me just finish that thought. When the inevitability conversation comes up with someone who has shredded and loves it and they're grateful, what do they have to do? They have to share. So now we're going to have to learn a new skill set, maybe how to do this. And so it's the same thing for the business. It's the same thing for relationships. It's the same thing for finances. It's the same thing for everything. It's just the same thing. And so anything that's been coming up that we haven't, if there's a trauma that we haven't healed, it has to get healed. And that's okay. It's okay. We're living in a world where we're waking up to that sure is okay. And it's about time we did it. So I just, that.
Woo.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And people, I needed to hear this. I want to come to these retreats. People are yes, right. I'm just thinking of all the stuff in my head, all my own stuff, and how much, you know what I mean? Like, just from being little and being the fat kid and never feeling like I even belonged, like had people but never felt like belonged, and watch and feel like how that came with me, and realizing that, like, it's crazy because people have these health transformations, right? And I used health as like my vehicle out. It's like I don't even know how to describe it, Lenny. Like, it's how I block everything. You know what I mean? I put myself through these crazy fitness things, these ultra marathons, and push pain on myself, right? To suppress things, right? And what do you think, like, for you, like when you came into this, what got you to be so passionate about? I mean, obviously you must have had you've had your own traumas, obviously, right, to work through. And then to when you had that breakthrough, like what helps somebody identify it and then break through? Because you know so many people get stuck. Like we can say, yeah, we got to live in that fear and push through it and knock down that door. And I mean, these are we say these things, right? But why does nobody ever go through? Is that what you're going to share with us now? Is these
Well,
things
I
that we
mean,
can use, these tools? Is that what you're speaking
yeah,
of?
yeah. I mean, I'm going to talk about some basic things that everybody can learn how to do at home and things like that to like
Yeah.
help with any kind of trauma that's coming up in a moment. Trauma manifests itself as anxiety. That's the
Mm,
name of it. So trauma in the inside of the body is going to come out, and it's going to be a physical thing somewhere inside of us, in like in our organs, in our all kinds of different ways, right? I'm thank you for being so vulnerable about that, because I know a lot of triathletes and people that like go push themselves, and there's something that they're wanting to touch. There's something that they want to heal, you know.
yeah.
And just the fact that we've been talking about this, you know, is so cool. It really is. And thank you again for being so vulnerable. But I'll be honest with you, most of my breakthroughs came after I found isogenics, years after, even after I became a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because all you really need to tap into to be able to, and I know this is not about the business right now, but once you become truly grateful for anything, truly grateful, and I can talk about that later, but I mean, you exude gratitude, like you're so grateful for this thing. That's when you're gonna be able to rock this as a quote unquote business, you know, because gratitude is is your business. It becomes your business, you know, to be
Yeah.
grateful, and you'd be ungrateful if you didn't share. And you can see that in Sean's eyes and in your eyes, you know. And anyway, that's all part of that. So that's kind of how I did that in the beginning. But then, man, I went through a pretty interesting like time in my life. You know, I've been with Isogenics. I'm going on 17 years next week. Will be my anniversary.
Mm,
17 years, you know. And, you know, I went through a divorce, and I went through, I had to learn I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what happened with my dad and my mom. And man, this has been the journey of a lifetime. I'm so
yeah.
grateful that I'm here, that I got to learn these little. First of all, there were all kinds of things that I knew would help me. And if I knew it helped me, I tested it. I got my own testimony. Then I became grateful for that technique. And then I would always share it. That's how it worked. That's how it worked, you know, and that's how we all, that's how I've always been. And that's how I always want to be. And our culture, in the shred culture, is that way. You
Mm,
know, somebody needs me to do a three-way call, another interview on another team. And I'm like, absolutely, you know, when's the next time? I can't do it this time or this time. And we
right.
say yes, you know, we just keep saying yes. But back to this trauma, Jesse, it's like
Yeah.
there's all kinds of things that come up, you know, for people. And you know, I mean, I don't want to come across as any kind of a professional. I have people in my life that I invested, you know, money to help me through my inner child trauma. And now
Hmm.
I'm taking courses to be able to do that sort of thing. But there's all kinds of things. And so instead of going into too much depth of, let's say, for example, of something for the inner child right now, let's just talk about a story that I think could apply about the shred. And it's a
Yes.
story about Oprah Winfrey. And it's a true story. I read her book, I read it in O Magazine. And it's about her when she was 14 years old. And she had decided, she lived in the deep South, and she had decided that she was going to win a beauty pageant for girls of her like that lived around her area, right?
Yeah.
And so she's doing all she knew how to do. Everybody in the house was like, you know, they lived in an old beat up house. Everybody was poor. She told about how they had to heat up a big pot in the back, and they washed their clothes that way. That's how Oprah was washing clothes her whole life. And at 14, she got on a scale in the bathroom to look and see, to check in to see how she was doing, because she had always been a big girl.
Yeah.
And right then, her father opened the door, it swung open, hit her. He goes, "What the?" He goes, what you doing, girl? And he tells the story. She tells the story. He says, honey, everyone's big in our family. Your mama's big, your aunts are big, your grandma's big. You're a big girl. You're always gonna be a big girl. And she literally tells the story. I'm like, oh my God. And she says that haunted me until I was a billionaire.
Ugh.
And it might even be haunting her right now. I don't know, right? Because every time she lost weight, she had that trauma, that her dad saying, you're a big girl. Like that shit, we all have that. And so when we start to hit plateaus and look better and better, we're going to start looking at some of that. Maybe and maybe not. Maybe there are people that have done work and whatnot. But I'm telling you, even when you get a rejection, that's a trauma. Like somebody says, no, I don't want to do your program. You're like, huh. I mean, that even hurts me. Like that can be a trauma. So I want to talk about some more minor traumas, Jesse, that we could cry off, or we can do some tapping and we can do some moving around. There's 3 specific things, if we have time, to talk about tonight, if we can dive into it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I talked about this on a live the other day, a Facebook live, and I said, and this is my message to the Shredder Nation, and that is, real shredders cry. Get over it, right? Because it's okay. We were taught as little kids, I was taught as a little boy, don't cry. Don't you cry. Girls cry. Girls cry. Are you a girl? No. You know, like I have memories of me, little Lenny, and I was tiny too. And my dad just saying, we do not cry. And I would spill my milkshake at a restaurant, and oh my God, don't cry. I would just, oh my God. So like my whole life, I kept this in. And I just want to say right now, for the record, you guys, crying is awesome. Crying is delicious. Crying doesn't have a sex of gender. We're all human. We're all spiritual beings having an earthly experience right now. We're spirituals. We came to cry. We came to feel. We came to experience. And so what I want to say is, stop holding back your tears and have a good cry sometimes. I like a snot bubble cry. You know, like if you're feeling something, let it out. It wants out, and it can get out through crying. But our parents taught us, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. So that kept getting in us. Every time you have a good solid cry, boom, good place to cry, shower. Nice hot shower. Get it out. Get it out. And as soon as all your tears come out, you blow your nose in there. And then as soon as you're done with that shower, finally, it all goes down the drain. You're done. That's a good, positive, private way to get it out. Like no one ever has to see it. I'm not saying you have to cry in front of people ever. I'm just saying there's something therapeutic about a really good cry. So that's something I want to say right now. And if you have the luxury to take a bath and you just can be alone in the bathroom, in the bathtub, I like that a lot. I have a certain like mixture I like to put in the bathtub. But if you're going to have a cry about something, cry it out in that bathtub, and you get the whole half hour until you pull that plug, and then you got to shake it off. Like you got to, as soon as it goes down the drain, that's the time limit for the crying for that trauma. Like get it out, like really get it out. Now, the next thing is voicing it, screaming it out. If there's something in your life and you're alone in a forest, or you have a little soundproof room, or you're in a shower and you can kind of like muffle it a little bit or whatever, and you want to scream into a towel, there's something profoundly important about getting it up and out, whatever that happens to be. And there's a lot of different things, because there's lots of different layers to us. There's the spiritual life, there's the physical life, there's the financial life, there's the romantic life, the sexual life. There's all these. We're so delicious, you guys, man. Humans are amazing. Like we have these spirits in us, but we have all these dimensions to us, right? So number one, crying. I want to just get these out. Number two is this ability to yell, you know, and just for a little time limit. Like if you're mad at somebody, like I was really mad at my dad. I had to really do some yell therapy about to some of the things that he put me through. And so I learned it, and I'll be talking more and more about all this. But the next one I want to talk about real quick is a cold shower, because there's something about shivering. And I've been learning a lot about this lately, about moving your body and about shivering. You know, if you never noticed a dog, if it ever gets in the water, what is the first thing that dog, when it walks up on the shore, what's that dog going to do? Right? Oh, the whole, like, and it's so cool to watch because it starts right at the neck.
Yeah,
And
like,
it goes all the way down right to the tail. It's like, if you can see it in the sunshine, it's like, what? That
yeah.
is so cool, because it really knows how to do it. And they know how to do down dog. That's a yoga stretch. They knew how to do all the different yoga poses. They do it naturally. You could just watch a dog just do what a dog does, and you could shake off a lot of trauma. I promise you, a lot of times, right? But the cold shower, it's a Wim Hof exercise. It's an ice bath, and it's a breathing technique that we're not going to go into right now. But the cold shower can make you shiver and just get it off of you. Like, take your arms and get the water off, after you've been in there for a couple of minutes. I did it for 90 days, every single day, cold shower. Because I want to experience these things and how it makes me feel, and how it can help me. So when you can shiver or shake or go for a walk and that pounding, that's some of the very best times. So just those three things: crying, the yell factor. If you're alone, I don't want you to go and yell in a place where people think that they need to call someone or anything. So that's a kind of more of a private thing. And then the cold water therapy, that can really work wonders. A cold pool, if you have a pool in your backyard and you don't heat it, Arctic plunge, baby. That's some good stuff, right? And we can talk more about that. You can message me for more information, but those are at least three little things that I wanted to talk about. And don't fight the tears. Let them come if they can, if you can do it, and a good place is alone in your car, windows up. I don't know if there's a better place really for healing. It's a good place, and I want to say that there's a lot to be said about affirmations right now, because those are things that are going to shiver us out, cold water out. We could cry it out, but it's those beautiful affirmations, because the whole idea of isogenics is divine. I've always said that there's a law that I've been working on for a long time called the law of cleansing and replenishing. Isogenics figured it out 18, 19 years ago. They cleansed the cell, opened it up, and we put the new nutrition in. It was like, whoa, no, what? I feel amazing. We cleanse, we replenish. It's so beautiful, right? Well, in every area of our life, we cleanse the debt, we replenish with residual income. We cleanse the bad relationships, and we replace them with new ones. So we have to cleanse to replenish. That's what's happening right now. So these words that I want you to focus on are these beautiful affirmations. They're powerful. Words will change your life if you say them, right? So in the cold shower, you can, when you're done shaking, you can say these out loud. You can do it however you want. We can tell a whole nother live about it, but a few of my favorites: I am divinely inspired. I am divinely guided. I am divinely protected. I am divine, and those are the things that you can just start to say and feel. And I'm always at the right place at the right time. I always know what to say in the right moment. Like, these are things I say over and over and over, so I become them. I'm divinely photogenic. Try that one on for 30 days and see if you don't become amazingly photogenic too. Because I already programmed my mind to do it. Those things you say every day, every day, every day, right? So these words of affirmation are part of what we're putting back in after we're purging the trauma, in the crying, in the yelling. And there's deeper things that we can get into. And I just love talking about this so much, because we don't get to very often. We don't really get to talk about how healthy crying can be. Crying is the new sexy. Even snot bubble crying, right?
I think a big aspect too, Lenny, is what we don't talk enough about is mental sanity. What we don't talk enough about is the deep, just the deep, the deep emotion, the deep fear, the deep struggle that people are having, especially right now. I mean, it was bad, but now it's like, I feel like for some, it's just crippling now. You know what I mean? And it's like, so what would you say? I mean, somebody's there, they're like, okay, Lenny, like, I get it. Like, affirmations are great. I can tell myself this, I can do it. Like, what do you think? What makes the difference between somebody who's going to just say it, but somebody who's actually going to say it and then make it part of actual life, right? Because I spent years saying affirmations, but until I believed it from my heart
Yeah.
first, and I got rid of some things, like you said, it takes getting rid of to allow room for growth, right? It's like lifting. It's like you got to break down the muscle to then heal it, and it's the only way to gain new muscle. You got to beat the hell out of it, and it's hard work. It's painful work, right? And you say it so beautifully, but it's like this is painful work,
It
right?
is.
So how does somebody break through? What would you say? What have you seen yourself or from people that you've coached? What have been those breakthrough moments for people where they were able to realize, like, you know what, like I am good enough. I am not that person. I am not the definition of that person from the past anymore. I am today. I am tomorrow. I am what I create. And how do you believe that? How do you just when you feel like you're getting beat down,
Well, I mean that's the question, right? That right there, the pain is the cure.
Mm,
So I'm finally getting that. Rumi said that, by the way, not me. Rumi said the pain is the cure. So the pain is what's going to drive us to the transformation, because we're going to finally just get sick of living like that, right? So the
yeah,
pain is going to drive us to the cave, and that the cure is in the cave of the pain,
yeah,
right? So that we're kind of coming full circle now. Now there's some other things we can talk to people about, and I know there's a lot of healers in our community, in our tribe. There's so many healers that part of our community that are amazing what they do, and we have access to so many people. Like I said, I've been doing this for like 17 years. All my very best friends are in this community of isogenics, and now in the new subculture of the shredders. It's
yeah.
amazing. But I want to share this one concept right now, because I hold this bizarrely interesting record in isogenics that I hope will never be broken. But I earned my first $1 million and my second million and my third million without ever getting on an airplane, because I was petrified, Jesse, to get on airplanes. I had a fear of flying. I'm not going to get into what happened, but holy shit, it scared me, and I was not going to do it. I was done. And so I
Interesting.
drove everywhere. I drove to Kansas City from Utah. I drove to
Yeah.
Texas. I drove all over. And I put more miles on cars than truck drivers for my ISA career, right? So anyway, I had to figure this out. So I want to share just this concept right now. It's called EFT. And I want you to write that
Yes.
down. EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. And it's a beautiful practice. A lot of people practice it. You can find somebody probably in your area. I've taken courses. I do EFT. I practice it. I love it. And it's a quick thing if you're ever feeling anxious in the moment, because you said something like, there's a lot of day parts in our day. We're not just talking about healing the biggest stuff. That's all needs to happen at some point. We can have more, but to break through, to make a phone call, to break through in your day to day. This is a quick little thing. It's called EFT. There's 7 chakra points, meridians. One is right here on your crown chakra. So you take your fingers, your 3 fingers, like you're going to just pat.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to do this that's watching right now. Seriously, I
We
want
do.
you to take these things and pat that right there. So you pat here, crown.
Yeah.
And then there's some things we're going to say. And then you pat right here in your third eye, this pineal gland. That's the second place. And then you come right here to your cheekbone and you pat. That's number 3. Then you come right over here by the temple, right there on your temple. And then you come back over here. It's called your snot trough. If you don't have mustache, there's a little indentation where your snot rolls. And so
Yeah.
you pat right there at the snot trough, and then you come right here on your chin, and then you come right here on your collarbone. Those are the 7 meridians. Now, I promise you, I didn't even know what to think about this, but that's shaking certain meridian points, certain chakra points on you. This is not a whole lesson in chakras or anything. We only touched really 2 of them, and really right here in the third, the throat chakra. So there's a crown chakra, a third eye chakra, and then a throat chakra. Those are 3 of the 7 of the chakra
Mm.
systems, but that's not what this is. This is EFT. So if you're having a moment and you're upset that you can't get in skinny jeans, or you're mad that your wife or your husband made a bad comment to you, or an in-law or somebody pissed you off on Facebook, and you're just pissed. You're upset. Like you're upset about something. That's when you can learn how to do EFT on yourself, you guys. I do it all the time. It got me on that airplane. Not the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. It helps people if they're really scared and they almost got in an accident and they don't know what to do. You could talk them through this, and it's super simple. So it's east meets west. It's the east acupuncture points, these 7 points, these meridians, while you're saying some beautiful things out loud. And that's what this is. That's what an EFT session is. It takes about 5 minutes. And so what it basically is no matter what's happening, you dial into what's happening. And it's really beautiful if you have a friend that can practice this on you, and you can get certified super simple. But there's all kinds of EFT people that are certified already. But the bottom line is there's a really beautiful process that you can learn, and you can do this, and you can take yourself. So it's kind of like it's kind of like the idea. I was studying recently, and Janelle shared a video. And if Janelle's on, I'd like to ask her to put it in the comments about the polar bear. There's a guy that shows this polar bear. They had to tranquilize it, but he had done it many, many times, and it shows it shaking and shaking and breathing, and then all of a sudden the polar bear goes, and that is so beautiful to me. It was like that's the version, because humans, we're not allowed to cry anymore. We're not allowed to shake. So have all these trapped emotions. And so this, at least this EFT, shakes the meridian points, and you can do some really good deep breathing, and then you can relax. It's all about learning how to relax in your own body, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your body. And this whole process, everything I teach is about learning how to get to that place where you can relax, so you can learn how to close your eyes and envision your future. That's not what this is about tonight. That's for another Zoom, but it's all about learning how to relax our bodies. And when we have trauma inside, we're antsy. We want to move. We always want to move. We never want to sit still. We've got to learn how to sit still. Again, that's another talk for another time. But this EFT, this emotional freedom technique, it's called tapping. And so you just tap on these little places, and you go right through, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Everyone I've ever done it on is like, whoa. If they have on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 7 in their anxiety. We do these 7 areas, and they're like, okay, how do you feel? Wow, like a 2 or 1. It's amazing. So this is just like a free little thing. I don't know if we want to go any further into it tonight, but this is exciting stuff, again, to me, Jesse, to be able to talk about this stuff,
Well, first of all, 3 people have said that they're learning EFT now. Crystal Escobar, EFT is really cool. I haven't done much of it, but I had someone do it on me, so cool. Laura says, let's do meridian points now.
Okay.
She's wanting it. This is interesting to me. This is fascinating. I love learning this stuff. This is like new. These are things that are just. I love adding tools to my tool belt. You know what I mean? One of my things I've learned is that a tool belt's great, and if you really learn, like, you don't use every tool in the tool belt every day, but when you have that tool belt that's stock full, and you can start to put all these little pieces, right? I think people take for granted a little tiny chiver, little tiny sliver forward is still a sliver forward. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if you do this day after day after day, and they start with 1, and then they're 3 a day, and 5 a day, and 6 a day, before you know it, it's 20 a week, and 30 a week, and 40 a week, and life start to change that way. So, gosh, Lenny, I feel like we just created like 7 more lives that we can do on different topics, with dealing with the mental aspect side of things, which is something I'm really, really passionate about, because I know for me it's healing. I know I still have work, and I know from health coaching, that is the biggest struggle. That is we can teach anybody how to do something, you know what I mean? Say for 11 days, right? Like the shred, like eat this, don't eat that. But it's the work that's done on the inside, and the ones that are willing to do that, and to step forward and break through and face those fears and allow new to come in. And the ones that have gotten to that point, like you said, right? Like I've had enough. I've gotten to that point where it's just I've had enough, and I this is like the shred for me is like everything that's gone on over the years just coming to light and just being this beautiful, perfect little sphere for me right now. You know, I forgot what I was going to even say. I'm just so damn excited. I got so many thoughts in my brain
Let
right
me.
now.
I have just a couple things I want to
Yeah,
share
go.
that are coming up for me now that you've talked about this, and based on what Laura said, I just want to talk about real quick. There is such a thing as a perfect breath. There's this newest book out. It's called Breath. It's a really cool book. I think I sent you this a while back, but anyway, it's called Breath. It's a really cool book by a
Mm-hmm.
guy named James Nestor, and just just because I think this is another way to calm you down, and it's a way to pass trauma through us. You take a very deep breath, and it's 5 seconds in,
Mm.
and then you pause with a gentle smile, and 5 seconds out their nasal breaths. Okay, so let's just try one together. On three, we breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And then a gentle smile, and then out. Now that's 11 seconds. It turns out the perfect breath is 11 seconds. It's a 5 second breath in. And it's funny, when I first started doing this, I thought about the days of me playing Pop Warner football. We go
Mm.
one alligator, two alligator, three alligator, and then we rush, right? And then I'm on a whole new kick now with my feeling and my connection with God. So now when I'm doing that, I think all is God, all is God, all is God. 5 up, and then God is all, God is all, God is all on the way back. It's a beautiful practice, but it's 11 seconds is the perfect breath. Scientifically, what's the perfect program?
Mm-hmm.
11-day, perfect breath, 11-second. There's this 11-11 thing going on, right? So
Yeah.
when you're ever stressed out, think of oxygen as prana, life force. It's pure, infinite well-being. That's what we're swimming in. It wants to heal us. And if we'll think of the trauma in us, we can breathe it in and exhale it out. In the exhale, we can exhale. We're supposed to. That's what coyotes do. That's what bobcats do. That's what trees do. It breathes in the tree and breathes out. Even trees and rocks have a breath cycle. So we want to let it go. We need to learn how to exhale. Most of us aren't exhaling. We don't. And then we got all this stuff in us, and we got to exhale. There's got to be a breathing practice. That's just
Mm-hmm.
another little piece right there that I wanted to make sure and share, because this is recorded and people can go back and look at that breath, right? But then I do want to just share, like, let's say that you're having a problem with a relationship. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
say that right now for this I want to take us through real quick. Just everybody take that breath with me. Breathe in. And I'm going to have a problem. I'm just going to do myself. I'm going to do something myself. See if you can relate. Like, I really miss one of my daughters a lot. And if I think about it, I could really miss her, because divorces are hard sometimes. And so, like, and you can do this with me at home, but you don't have to. You could just think about it. But breathe in and start tapping on that crown chakra. And you say something like, even though I really, really miss my daughter, I still love myself. And then you come and tap here and you say, even though I feel terrible about missing my daughter, I still love and respect myself. And then we come over, right? And even though I miss her sometimes so much it hurts, I know it's going to be okay. And even though I wish I could see her, I wish I could talk to her, but I just can't right now, I still feel safe. I'm okay. And then you come right here and you say, and even though I would do anything to see her, I still love myself. And I know it's going to be okay. And even though, and you just keep bringing yourself down, and you're right here, there's 2 more. And even though I hope I get invited to the next, family reunion with her, I still know everything's going to be okay. I'm divinely protected. I'm divinely guided. I'm divinely inspired. And even though, and even though, and even though I feel horrible about not being able to lose this weight, I still love myself. And even though I don't know how to make this call, I don't want to be rejected, I still love myself. And that's EFT. That's emotional tapping. That's emotional freedom technique. And we must move these feelings through us. It's no longer time. We don't have any more time to keep blocked and trapped emotions in our bodies. We have too much to do. We have to free up. And that's why the shred culture, we're all about it. Crystal's all about it. Sean's all about it. You're all about it. We want to heal it all. We want to heal it all. We don't want to stop at just losing some, a few pounds here and there. We want to dive in. And we've got the community, we've got the tribe, to teach people how to do this stuff. So I wanted to share just a couple of little nuggets, that we can use. And now that's recorded so we can watch that again. And if anybody wants more information, you can private message me and I'll share what I can, and I can show you people, I can resource you to people. This is a beautiful culture. We're just given everything that works. That's what we're about. Yeah. Helping people come alive is about all of this. And you start with the 11-day shred, man. And then that's the beginning of the culture. And don't forget, you guys, there's a pineal gland back there. Let's have another zoom on just our pineal gland that's calcified, proven. Most people's are calcified because of fluoride and shitty food. And there's a way to open it. And a 2-day intermittent nutritional fast, boom. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, that's why we're coming alive. We're coming alive and spiritually. We're coming alive physically. And then we can go to that tomorrow or is it Monday night? We do the business calls and we can talk about that. That's not for everybody, but that's for some of us. So, whew.
Man. Yeah, I gotta breathe that in. You touched a big thing with me because I have a little 10-year-old girl, and I'm divorced, and my 10-year-old girl lives in Massachusetts, and I live in North Carolina.
Oh wow!
And ever since COVID, it's been really tough to travel.
Oh.
And I used to get on a plane, every 3 weeks to go spend time, and it's the time's been really, really limited now.
Sorry, brother, man. I know that's hard, man. I'd be happy to do a session with you, just you and me.
You just did a session with me. Oh.
Well, that one's a good start, and that's a good one. And you guys, you can do it. You can do this. You guys jump in, do the work, learn how to create the life of your dreams. We've got the vehicle given to us. The vehicle's been given to us. It's divinely inspired. And now the divinely inspired original company had some divine magic mixed in there with Sean and Crystal and Tony and Randy and Jesse and all the people that are now coming. We're attracting all the right people. It's divine. Yeah. Now we can go to this next level in our life, and it's all of this other little stuff too that's been holding us back our whole life, right? Not just little, but this is big stuff, and it's what I've dedicated my life to, and it's what I commit the rest of my life to, teaching these beautiful ways that we can feel better in our own body and let that trauma pass through us already. We deserve to be the ones in our ancestral line that say no more of those lies and the fear and those old programs and those old belief systems that got lodged in us, you guys. They're in us physically. We need to get it out. We are the ones we've been waiting for, Jesse. We are the ones we've been waiting for. There's no one coming to save us. We do this work. And so those are a couple of fun little tips, little state changers. There's one more, though. If you ever have a moment where you're not having a good moment, you take a pen, Sharpie's best, and you put it all the way in your mouth. All the way out. And you hold it there. And you hold it there. And you set a timer. And you walk around the house and you do it. Why? Because it makes you smile. It's evolutionarily, scientifically proven. It's that if you do that you'll smile. And every time you smile at somebody else, it's evolutionarily contagious. Even if they don't smile on the outside, they smile on the inside. You guys, every time we raise our vibration, every time we lose one trauma, it raises us. Every time we do anything that raises us, we raise the vibration of our whole planet. So gosh, we could go on, but Jesse, man, I'm excited to be on this journey with you, brother, and Sean and Crystal and this whole team. Man, I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it in all 17 years of being in Isogenics. Never seen a culture. I've never seen an authentic bunch of souls out there. I feel like this everybody listening right now is part of my soul tribe. And I think that's how we run, you know? So this is good stuff, man.
I agree. That's the depth. This is the depth that Sean keeps speaking of, right? That
Yes.
it's so much more. It's man, and that did that happen quick, right? It's so much more. I mean, it's crazy.
Just
Listen,
believe
Lenny.
in, I want everybody to just believe in divine timing, believe in divine magic. You know, divine magic is reserved for those specific people that believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, you can't have it.
Yeah.
So whatever you're believing in, check the box off that it's working for you. And if it's not, get rid of that BS, that belief system, and get a new program. And that's, we can do another whole series on this, because this is what I live for. This is how it all happens. It's the mental plus the physical, the work plus the, you know, the vision that pulls us, you know. That's what this is about, you know. So yeah, this is good stuff, brother. I'm so grateful for all the lives you do. I go on there and watch, and gosh, Sean and Crystal, and this community is just filled with giving. And in all the interviews you do, oh my gosh, I learned so much. I'm so inspired, you know. And
Awesome.
and Sean calls those people that share the shred with other people, that's how you become a superhero, you know. And then that's the journey that leads to all this other deliciousness that we're talking about, you know, like all this other stuff that now is part of our tribe too, you know. So awesome.
It's such a beautiful thing. I mean, it's changed me. It's changed the focus. You know what I mean? It filled something that was missing. I said I was talking to somebody the other day. I was doing a call. I said, you know, I feel like the shreds, like it's a bunch of people who thought that they were like misfits, and and have come together. And when the shell breaks and they come alive, they realize that they were freaking amazing and perfect, and just this beautiful person from the get-go. They were never broken in the first place. They realized their value, their inner worth, their confidence, their place. It's just it. Oh man, dude, it gives me goosebumps to know, because it's doing it for me in my life. And I know that watching people do this, it's the thing that gets me so riled up and so excited about this. You know, I always say, look beyond the pounds and look beyond those inches, because this is the shit I'm talking about. This is the deepness that being a part of something like this. I think it's so needed right now. And just having a group of people that have all of these specialties, and everybody comes together to lift everybody up and pick everybody up. And that doesn't mean it's all perfect, right? You know, but that's the beauty, is that we're one big perfect mess. That's how we are. We're one big perfect freaking mess, you know, a mess of just juicy goodness. So I'm so excited.
Let me just say, you know, I want to end with this, if I might, because I know, you know, we're coming up to it, but I want to end with this. You know, you asked me something earlier, and I guess it just needed a minute to percolate there, because you asked me an important question, and I want to answer that question right now. And you said, you know, what do you do? Like, you want to do this, and what do you do? There's one thing that I think trumps all other things, and I love this so much, and it's this. You know, all those things that we're trying to always get out of our food, like pesticides, insecticide, herbicide, fungicide. That word "side" means death. Okay, so pesticide is death to the pest. Herbicide is death to the herb, and so on and so forth. Okay, so suicide, death to the self, like homicide, death to another. So the number one thing, I think, if you want to do this with us, whether you're going to just do the shred and get ripped and get the body you want, and or you're going to want to share this with people and change the world with us, you need to decide. Make a decision that you're never going to quit, that you're going to be in it for the rest of your life. Like, you're going to have the best body, and you're going to, every time you have a chance, you're going to share that again and let your light shine, so that that light shines on other people. So decide to be in this and never quit. That is a great starting point, because you can do that. You can cross, you can make that line in the sand. It's called a line of demarcation. And then once you've made that decision that you're going to do this, come on. It's just a matter about how fast you want to go. So I think making the decision, decide then means to cut off from and make the decision, right? And that's we can dive into another whole talk about that another time, but that's a great thing to talk about tonight. Like, just decide already.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And we're going to leave it right there, Lenny, because that is seriously, that was,
Right on, brother. I'm so
gotta
grateful,
decide,
man. Let's do it again.
Commit, and the only way you ever fail is if you quit. So just decide not to
quitting.
Quit.
Shredders never quit.
That's it. Listen, Lenny, I can't tell you enough. Seriously, I can't tell you enough how much I love you as a brother. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for the time you've given me, the conversations. I'm thankful for what you've given to this community and the belief that you had in the beginning. I know, like, go back and see the messages. There's so many people that I know I'm speaking on behalf of. I know Sean loves you, and Crystal loves you, and Tony and Randy. And I mean, every time we talk, they can't say enough. So I'm just so grateful for you, brother. And I can't wait to continue this journey of life with you and to continue blessing others. And there's so much more. There's so much more. And I can't wait to experience it all.
We're just getting started, brother.
That's it, man.
Shredders unite. Let's do it.
That's right, baby. All right, Lenny, have an awesome night. Thank you again, brother.
See you guys.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Blessings.